And I was just about to end it on that third video. Like, I've talked about all I want to talk about. And I was like, you know what? Let me just go check my sites one more time. In case there's something good. Oh, here's a gem from Zero Hedge. Thanks, Zero Hedge. I love Zero Hedge. Here are America's most underfunded corporate pensions. And you know how underfunded they are? The numbers are going to be off anyways. It's going to be worse. It's automatic. But I still can't wait to see what the numbers show here. Zerohead says, we spend a lot of time talking about the public pension crisis because, well, it's a massive $5 to $8 trillion overhang on the economy and one which will undoubtedly result in some heartache for investors at some point in the future. Unfortunately, there are some problems that are too large for even U.S. taxpayers to fix. And with an underfunding of $52,000 midpoint per household, somehow we suspect this is one of them. Of course, our nation's various governmental institutions aren't the only ones who have unwittingly created massive Ponzi schemes from which there is no escape. In fact, as Bloomberg pointed out today, as of the end of 2016, over 90% of the top 200 corporate pensions in the S&P were underfunded to the tune of $382 billion. Here's a look at the funded status of the top 20. And here's some pie charts. No, that's not Pac-Man being created. That's the real deal. Intel. Again, these are top companies. Everyone you're going to know about. Oh, yeah, I know that one. I know that one. Intel, Delta Airlines, Delphi Automotive, American Airlines, Anadarko Petroleum, Procter & Gamble. Anyone ever hear Procter & Gamble? TE Connectivity, Parker Hannifin, United Continental Holdings, Freeport McMoran. Is that like moron? Or Moran? First Energy, Harris, Chronic, Sempra Energy, General Electric, GE, Lockheed Martin, DuPont, Jiminy Christmas. These are top companies. And their pensions are massively underfunded. Like everything else. In other words, like every other pension, public, private, doesn't matter. They are all. And when I say all, 90-something, high 90-something percent. Meanwhile, just the top 20 corporate pension funds are underfunded by just a piddly over $100 billion. So what happens when these massive corporate obligations become so underfunded that they can't possibly ever be fixed? As the 400,000 pensioners in the Central States Pension Plan are all too familiar with, the obligations get handed over to the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, PBGC, an entity which is nearly bankrupt itself, at which point payouts are slashed, leaving retirees with about half of the monthly income they expected in retirement. And per CBS, February was a bad month for Larry Burrell, and thousands of others retired from the Ohio Iron Workers Union. His monthly take-home pension was cut by more than half, from $3,700 a month to just $1,600. Things have been rough in the Rust Belt, but this was a particularly powerful punch in the pocketbook for Burrell, who started in the trade at 19 years old and worked 36 years before opting for early retirement to make way for younger workers. Unfortunately, the sagging industry doesn't have enough younger workers to pay for retirees like Burrell, whose pension plan is in what the U.S. Treasury Department calls critical and declining status. Burrell and the 400,000 members of his Central States Pension Fund are the canaries in the coal mine as far as pension cutbacks go. At least 50 Midwestern pension plans, mostly the kind jointly administered by trustees for a labor union and a group of employers, are in this decrepit condition. Several plan sponsors have already applied to the Treasury Department to cut back retirees' allotments. This cross-section of America includes more than 1 million former truck drivers, office and factory employees, bricklayers, and construction workers who are threatened with cutbacks that could last the rest of their lives. Who could have guessed that the efforts of our government and largest corporations to backstop the investing risk of millions of households across the country would end so poorly. Well, maybe they should have become a politician and raked the rest of us over the coals so that they could live the life of luxury that they always thought they would be able to live. See, these people weren't greedy. I worked hard all my life. I deserve a pension because you offered the pension. The pension was supposed to be funded. It was an agreement for me to work here and get that pension, which is why I decided to work here for 36 years of my life. And now you're telling me my pension's getting cut. And I've got more. JSNIP4 has more bad news for you. The cuts coming they're not done. Your $1,600 a month, it's not done. Because what was that company called? The Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation is going to have a lot to deal with. Like the FDIC for your bank deposits has almost nothing to backstop any kind of losses in reality. This company doesn't. Like AIG didn't have the funds to deal with the derivatives blowing up in 2008. This company doesn't either. Except they're not dealing with derivatives. They're just dealing with retirement pensions. So I'll end it by telling you what I always tell you. If you ever get a notice, we'd like to settle with you in full. Here's your pension amount we're willing to give you now if you accept this. It's going to be brutal to look at. It's going to be upsetting to look at. But you take it and run. And you run straight over to cryptocurrency land. You also run over to precious metals land. Buy you some precious metals, some silver, etc. Get you into some cryptos. Even if you don't want to play the ICO game, play the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin game. And sit back and enjoy the ride. And you may find that the lump sum pension that came in just wiped away all of your sorrows and hardship that you thought was coming because of the massive pension cut you just got, which is now doubled and tripled into this thing. Potentially, right? And on that note, in case you're ready to buy some silver right now, prices are still great. sdbullion.com/jsnip4. The link is in the description of this video at the bottom of my description box. sdbullion.com/jsnip4. New customers have an opportunity to get a 10-ounce Proclaim Liberty silver bar. 10 ounces at freaking spot price. Unbelievable deal. Take care.